first off, the aspect ratio swatch. Okay, this is for that apparent. It allows you to define an aspect ratio for a box or a container or whatever, right? And it will resize that container to be your aspect ratio. So this is 16 by 9. Obviously, this one here is a 1:1, aka a square, right? So if you want to quickly make sure that something is always a particular aspect ratio, you can go ahead and use the aspect ratio swatch. So I think these are two common ones, right? Making a square is common, and then having something be 16 by 9 is a common format, right? 4 by 3 is another common one as well. Okay, so that's super useful. Aspect ratio. So we have two aspect ratio containers. We have a 16 by 9 container and a 1 by 1 container. Okay. And funny enough, we have two swatches. One is a 16 by 9 swatch and one is a 1 by 1 swatch. So let's look at the 16 by 9 one. I go ahead and I have set the class name to be AR for aspect ratio 16x9. Then, this is all the normal swatch selector stuff. Essentially down here, you can set the content alignment. So where do you want the content to be aligned? Because, by default, it could be taller than the content. So the default will be the middle. So no matter where, what size the box is, the content within that will always be aligned in the middle. And then you simply just set this 16 by 9 ratio, right? If we look at the AR 1 by 1, okay, I could easily call this a square class, I guess, because that's exactly what this does. Content align middle, sizing aspect ratio 1:1, right? And, for like this 16 by 9, some people forget, you could use anything. You could use 1280 by 720, which is the same exact thing as 16 by 9. It's just bigger numbers, right? 16 by 9 is just rounded down. So you can put whatever you want in here, right? And you don't need to have the most round information. So 1280 by 720 will be the same exact thing as 16 by 9. Okay, just to let you know that. So yeah, there you go. Maybe it could be nice to have like some predetermined ones. I don't know, maybe not. So yeah, that's all you need to do. Really, aspect ratio is super easy. Okay, go ahead, add the class to your container, and you're done. You got your 16 by 9 and your 1 by 1. Just kind of show you, if I set the let's set the content alignment on the square to top. Let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, if you look there, because I set it's still a square, but if we set the content alignment to the top, well, guess what? Content alignment is at the top. Okay. If you can do middle, bottom. So if we did the bottom, content align, obviously the 1 by 1 should be down there. There it is. Boop. Right. So that's kind of where, I think having it in the middle, which is the default value, is probably most likely what you're going to want. But yeah, you have the option to set the alignment. Cool. Did this replace the whole site styles, or is the site styles then components for more? Okay, great question, James. Okay, so let me open up just a simpler project here. I'm just going to open up my sandbox project. So when you purchase the Swatch pack, it doesn't replace site styles. Okay, thank you, James. That was a really good question, actually. All it does is when you click on these plus buttons within site styles, or let me make site styles look a little bit more like what you guys are probably used to seeing. Okay, this is what site styles normally looks like, right? So inside site styles, if you click on these plus buttons and you have the swatch pack, it just adds a ton of more swatches to here, right? It actually adds, there are 0 new stacks in your library. The swatch pack puts no new stacks in your library. Everything is accessible from within site styles. And you'll notice that all of the swatch pack have a little plus sign. So for example, here's the prefetch links stack. Okay. And it has the little plus. So I know that this, because it has this little plus symbol, in the name, I know that that is associated with the swatch pack. Okay. I added that just so we can kind of see from a glance if a swatch is from the swatch pack or, default with Foundation 6. Okay. So again, in the general, if you notice, there's a lot in general. So there's a lot of new swatches. And if you don't have the swatch pack installed, you're not going to see any of these swatches that have the little plus symbol. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Same thing if you had a swatches stack. So like, for example, this is a swatches stack, which is just a way of adding swatches outside of site styles. When you click on the plus button, you'll notice that you have access to a lot more, right? So you'll see that there's all these ones with the plus symbol, and all of those are from the swatch pack. Excellent. Joe, can we use aspect ratio to do cropping on images? Not necessarily, okay? You don't want to apply it to a picture stack to crop because it's going to make that image look distorted, okay? But what you can do is if you apply an aspect ratio to, let's say, the 16:9 container or even the square container. Let's say you have a wide image, but you want to apply that background to a square, okay? Essentially what you would do is you would create this 1x1, and then you'd add a background image. All right, let's do it. Why not? Really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and add a background swatch. Okay. I'm just going to use the same class here just so that it's quick and easy for us. I'm going to add a background image, and I'm going to add in a non-square background. Boop. Okay. So there we go. Okay. And then let's go ahead and set it to cover. Yep. Okay. Let's preview that. There we go. So that and I don't even need to have content in there. I can just delete the little header that's within it, preview. And I have what looks like an image on the page, but really it's a container with the image set as a background image. Okay. And what's pretty cool is it's responsive. So as the square shrinks, the image will continue to fill, right? So yeah, there you go. Okay. So, yes and no, right? Now, this isn't an image on the web page, right? This is different than having an image for SEO purposes. This is different because this doesn't have, Google won't see this as an image on your page. Doesn't have an alt tag, right? But for design purposes, from a design aesthetics point of view, this is a square image on the page. Okay. So yeah, there we go. So yes and no. You can use it to make it look like you're cropping an image.